I know there are a lot of friends here, and a lot of you already know so much about Kala Ghoda and the area, the festival, and all of that. But actually, I hope I can share a few things that some of you don't know. One of the things I must tell you is that when I first encountered, I call it encountered, uh, Kala Ghoda. It's funny, but I have a lot of family who have a lot of properties in Kala Ghoda, and I was one of, unfortunately, I'm one of those people who don't have anything there. And but there's always been an association, Thacker's Bookshop. I don't know if any of you remember it. Used to belong to my uncle, and we used to go there and browse and look at all the books. My father had a connection, and he had an office there, which now my brother has. And also we had other property. We had the Golden Thimble boutique. We have, rather, my sister's boutique, that is. And so there's always been some kind of a connection. So when I first went to the festival, the very first festival that happened in 1999, was it? Yes. And sorry, 2009. What am I saying? And what am I saying?
No, no, no.
No, 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 no. 1999, right?
2000, 2000.
No, it was in 1999, I think. So that was the festival, because this year was the 21st festival. And we were so excited, all of us artists, because this, street festival was going to happen. And we stood there on the street and we waited one morning, and we were very excited. There were some balloons, and there were people standing on the footpath, and there was also, a whole press conference happening. There was Hussein, and there was a big mural by Hussein, which he had done, a big canvas, which Shireen Gandhi had lent. And we were all standing and watching all these people sitting on the steps of Jehangir Art Gallery, and we were very excited. It was a 14-day festival, and over those 14 days, the traffic moved up and down normally, and there was just a little, here and there of a festival happening. And I said, well, this isn't really very much, but it's a good start, I'm sure. And I would very much like to be associated with this festival. I went up to Sangeeta Jindal, who was a friend of mine, and I said, please tell me any help you need. And she said, sure, sure, and nothing happened. Then the next year, she kind of put me on to kind of looking at the, visual arts a little bit, helping, just kind of putting up stuff on the street. And it was on those little pavement galleries which they had started making, or they just started making, and they put them up, these little things about public art, and how toilets and public things were important to the street. For street furniture was important. There were little posters put up everywhere, and it was exciting. And finally, I think in that year, they realized that I was really too enthusiastic and I really wanted to do something. So they took me on. I think they were hesitating and they were not very sure if they should have me there. But I was just an artist. I wasn't a public figure, or I wasn't anybody very important. So they said, okay. But you're not from the area. So I said, yeah, that's true, but does that matter? Because then I had to say that my father had this place, and my brother had this place, and my sister had this place. And of course, all of them knew me too. So they were very happy to have me come on. Well, I was a volunteer. I started as a volunteer. And I must say, I am still a volunteer. I would call myself a volunteer and nothing more, even though I've now got this title or whatever. But I think I'm also as friendly with everybody, my big team of people who have helped me over the years, as I've never treated them as people who work for me. And that's the reason why this festival has become uh, the tail that wags the dog. So I will tell you why this festival, we call it the tail. We joke about it. We say it's the tail that wags the dog, because the festival started very small, and it was not the purpose of the Kala Ghoda Association to host this festival. It was just a little bit about making money. And I'm going to talk about this as I start my presentation. So I like the name that Farooq gave. Farooq, first of all, thank you for inviting me. And also thank you for this name. I like it, Kala Ghoda. And though this slide is almost monochromatic, but along the way, I'm going to tell you why Kala Ghoda actually should be Kala Ghoda. So one of the things, purposes that it has achieved without really trying to achieve it, but it has definitely done, is revitalizing the neighborhood. As you can see, this is you can see the people loving it. They are not necessarily the elite people, and the reason why they really enjoy it, because it's the only thing that happens out there, out in the open. Of course, the Bandra Festival, Celebrate Bandra Festival, came in later, and they also did a very good job of it. But I guess that Kala Ghoda Arts Festival is Kala Ghoda Arts Festival. And the kind of joy and the energy that it has brought, we never even imagined that it would happen. We kind of started so small, and every year because we didn't have the funds, we thought it's not going to happen next year. It's not going to happen. What will we do? And somehow it's kind of become something else. It's become something big. It's become something iconic, and it's made the place, absolutely, it has revitalized the place. It used to be a dead place. There used to be drug addicts. It used to be dark. It wasn't, the restaurants were not functioning too well. There used to be hardly any restaurants there. Of course, there was the Wayside Inn, which a lot of you will remember. I used to love that place. And there was the bullock cart, and but that was it. Beyond that, there were no shops, there were no stores. And now, of course, you see all kinds of stores there, and it has become the place to hang out and to eat out. In fact, I was there this afternoon, and I picked up poro bun from Kala Ghoda Cafe. And I remember that even the Kala Ghoda Cafe, the guy who owns it, he told me once that he was thinking of calling it the Rope Walk Cafe. But he said the festival was so popular that I said, no, I'll call it the Kala Ghoda Cafe. So I think Kala Ghoda has become like the place to be. Also, a lot of shops that are even in the streets way behind want to say that they are Kala Ghoda. Even if they're near Horniman Circle Garden, their address is always Kala Ghoda. I'm sure Khaki Labs is also very proud to be in that area, in that district. Um, so these are just three visuals that I put together of course, the new. I've got, of course, three. They're not mine. I haven't made them or haven't created them, but I just like them, so I put them together, and I've just put down all the various sections that we show at the festival. So this is the colorful street. As you can see, so many people, and crowded. And a lot of people complain that all people want to do is take selfies. All they want to do. There are a lot of visual arts installations where, as I said, people want to take selfies, and we get criticized for that. Why do people want to take selfies? But I think it's a great thing, because that's when people actually have a record, and people will say, see, I was there. And even if they're not looking at the art, they will see it later when they look at their own photographs standing against the selfies. And it's a way of educating people. It may be a very raw way. It may not be the best way to educate people about the visual arts and about aesthetics or any of that. But it's the only place. It's the only place in Mumbai ever that where art can be just shown for nine whole days outdoors like that. And we get a lot of visual artists who are very excited things, and they do it at their cost. And it's amazing how there's so much participation. There's so many young people who want to come and enjoy Kala Ghoda. They need not spend a lot of money because everything is free in any case. All they have to do is spend money on food and the stalls, the shops if they want to buy anything. And nothing goes well without shopping. Nothing. I mean, nothing succeeds like shopping actually and eating. I think that's what Indian people enjoy a lot. So this is of course, the parking lot, which is transformed. As you see, the lower one, the lower slide is the one which has a sort of, it has actually the new horse statue there and the Rhythm House Lane. And you can see the museum dome there in the distance. And of course, the traffic, which is terrible at all times, crazy, except nowadays. And the one above is during the festival where this has been made around this traffic. But if you notice that this was an older photograph, that's why I put it on the top. And it did not have the horse statue. What it had was another visual arts, which I will show you later. It's um, it's the actual it's a horse cutout. It's like a gate, and it says the history of Kala Ghoda somehow. And those days, we had a sponsor, Hindustan Times, who would do all this kind of barricading, which was wonderful. We've always had a media partner, and it's been good because we didn't have to go to too many people to get the funding that we wanted to. Very initially, we had a bank who did it, HSBC. They were wonderful too, but they couldn't give us the kind of money with the kind of growth that this festival that happened. So this is, of course, our very popular music section. It's the most popular. It's the most expensive, but it is the most spectacular crowd drawing festival. That it's just one part of those 13 sections that we have. Music, but a very important part, and that's Amjad Ali Khan, as you all know. Amjad Ali Khan is one of our favorite artists at Kala Ghoda Festival, and he's such a wonderful man. So similarly, we had Ayushman, and in the past we've had oh, that's Ayushman there, and in the past we've had Farhan Akhtar, and we've had Sonu Nigam, and you name it, Shankar Ehsaan Loy. We've had everybody possible. We have one day of Bollywood performances. Then, of course, there is also another music venue, which is the Cross Maidan, also very beautiful venue. But this is the audience. Watch, this is the only time in the year that you will see something like this, where the Asiatic Society is just lit up like this, or, and then look at the audience, look at the crowd, see how much they're enjoying themselves. We are not asking them to smile, but they are smiling. And this is an experience. This is an experience, and we really enjoyed this as one of the. This is the finale actually, and it's held on the last Sunday of the festival. This is the food section. See how the audience, they're so enthused. Of course, mostly women, and we've always had a lot of celebrity cooks coming. We've had young people, and that's the thing about Kala Ghoda. We've had a sort of different types of people come in. We have different genres of everything, whether it's music, whether it's dance, or it's even the culinary arts. We have young upcoming chefs, or we have the very famous chefs, and everyone has been there, every single person. I have many more slides of many other people who have been there, but as I said, that will take a whole another presentation altogether. But it's a very popular presentation, and food, I think, became very big, and we introduced it quite late. This was not there from the beginning, this section, because we had we realized that with programs on television like MasterChef and all that, it was becoming a very popular section. So that's how we introduced food. And these guys come, they make something, and they make something for everyone in the audience, and they all get to taste something. So that's another wonderful thing, that they actually make it there. This is another very popular and consistently good section of, it's run by also curators who are excellent with children. And whether they have watching a puppet show, whether it's a workshop, and that little drawing there is by that singer Sunita Rao's daughter, and she sent it to me, and I just loved it so much that I felt I had to include it after she went to the festival. So it's a very joyous part of the. Held in the museum grounds, and that's a very beautiful place to have it. And the kids do lovely installations there, and I think they're better than the adult installations, if you ask me. Uh, and of course the kids. I think the children are the largest growing audience at the festival. I just like this photograph because it's so bratty and it's so kind of uh, cheeky. I feel, and it's lovely color, and they're out on the street, so it's wonderful that these groups of kids come. We do a lot for NGO children also. That's the literature section in David Sassoon Library. Again, another venue that is not used by anybody else so much as we do. We also help maintain all these venues, and that's why the area is looking so beautiful. We maintain their gardens. We do. That's what I meant when I say that's what we do with the money that we make from the festival. And that's Sudha Murthy. So for me, that was a very big moment because you like meeting such people at the festival. Amazing how many people you can meet at the festival, even if you just come and hang around. You don't have to be a Brinda Miller or that's Lubaina who does our on the left, who does our children's section, and who used to do. Now we have somebody else. So it's amazing how many people and whoever comes and works with us or for us, it's very hard to leave the Kala Ghoda Arts Festival. Why I have put all these three photographs is because I feel it's very important to get celebrities to the area because it draws a lot of press. Press is very important for us. And I think publicity is very important without having to actually go out and seek such. And also, I must tell you that Hollywood, whatever, Bollywood, whatever you may say about it, I think it draws people, very easily to the festival. And not that we need those kind of people to come to the festival. Anyway, people come to Kala Ghoda Arts Festival. They don't need Bollywood. But honestly, they really enjoy it. I think people do. So we do have a little bit of Bollywood, and we do have, and of course, Malika is another of our favorites. Whereas dance, when it comes to dance, because she also, if she can help it, she'll be there every year. Just like Amjad Ali Khan, Ayan, and Aman, they are also very supportive. So there are some of these artists who are extremely supportive, and they kind of say yes at the drop of a hat. This is our book launch. Uh, Actually, there are three books here. One is a cookbook, which Nicole, who is on the right up there, she did this book. I did the cover, and I've somehow illustrated for all these books. I enjoyed doing that, including this book called People Called Kala Ghoda. It was about all the people called Kala Ghoda. Who had anything to do with Kala Ghoda, and it's a fun book. And the book below, and as you can see, the launch of the book below, it was compiled by Abha Narayan Lamba, and this book actually, I'm going to show you a few pages from it because it tells a lot. If you read this book, even though it's not very new, it's like about 4 years old now, but some things do apply, especially the heritage part of it. And so that's a map of Kala Ghoda drawn by it's all in the family. My daughters both did this map together, and they're architects, so I asked them to do it, and they did this. And this photo below, this one which says constructing cultural significance, was taken by Vikram Bawa. And if you see, there's on the right a mural which with that horse, which was done by Sunil Padwal. We used to have this changing mural before. until Khyber restaurant said, no, no, now we don't want it, which was very sad because I think it was known by for that mural uh, quite a bit. And and this is a poster by Avid, and Kala Ghoda did some talks after that. So just to show you that little mural. So just the poster of that, which I have just put. We've had wonderful partners like Avid, the museum, and several consulates. We've also had a very huge, in the past, big Swiss consul presence, or at some point we've had the British Council, or we've had, of course, Max Muller is right in the area. So Max Muller also has played a very big role in our festival. So this is part of the book. This is the aerial shots are all by Dr. Jehangir Surabji, and we included it in the book. And I'm not going to show you all the pages because there are about 80 pages in this book, and that's the reason I'm just showing you a few of these pages. And of course, the aerial view where you see the court and you see the Maidans. And everyone knows that Regal Circle. And, these are the police headquarters here. There is, of course, Regal Theatre. And so these installations above are done by actually me, one or two. The light that you see up there on the right, up, and of course this installation also was done by me. There was a point I used to do an installation every year until I really got so busy with the festival that I couldn't handle everything. As the festival grew, it became bigger and bigger and bigger. And these are all people, so many of these people who came and kind of, either it's music or it's dance, they're all famous people. And we've had an absolutely wonderful program. And again, the reason why I'm showing you the old Kala Ghoda horse that used to be there, if you notice, the position of it was absolutely different. When we got permission for putting up the new horse, which I will tell you a little more about that later, is and why it was called the Spirit of Kala Ghoda. Also, I'll tell you that is because this horse statue was removed sometime in the 60s. It was a British Prince of Wales, Edward the Seventh statue. And we've always been anti the British and whatever for some reason. So it was removed for that reason, and it's there in the statue without this podium is there in the zoo, somewhere in the zoo. It's a beautiful statue. And when we decided to get the new statue, it was that was another story because it took us many years to get permission, because people would keep asking us, why is it called Kala Ghoda? Where is the Ghoda? What Ghoda is this that you're talking about? Nobody knew the history at all. And I've only included this page is because this was one of my all-time favorite installations at the festival, very, very, very many years ago. It must be, I think, 12, 13 years ago. The apples hanging from the trees, and they were large, they were like this big apples. And these are, of course, the heritage walks. The bus is like superbly popular. I'm sure that Khaki is inspired to have the Jeep rides from this bus ride, because it's a wonderful thing to be in an open, top bus stop and just be. I've been on only one of them because we didn't have time during the festival to organize this. To be on any of these things, and anyway they were very overcrowded, so we didn't want to deprive anyone, so we organized one for just us, and we went around on this bus ride once, and it was awesome, especially when you come to VT station and you look at that building. It's so beautiful. And of course the cycle rides. We've even had boat rides actually in the past, and then the recently restored synagogue, which Abba had restored, and that's the inside. And we also contributed some funds towards the restoration of this, but it was mostly restored by Jindals, by Sangeeta Jindal. This is the more serious part of our festival, the indoor venues where it's called urban design and architecture. And it's inside Max Muller Bhavan because that's what they like to do. And it's a very nice section, also a very new section relatively, because we felt the need to expand our festival to some more serious little talks. So we get a different crowd here, and as you can see that the crowd is totally different from where you would see anywhere else. Now that's the stand-up comedy section, which is again a very popular section because first of all, it's in Irish House where you can buy your beers and drink, and you just get to watch comedy for free, and it's hugely popular, and people just love it. There's a long queue that goes right round the corner and right down to the end of the road. And of course, there's the theatre section. There's a play at the Horniman Garden, which is a very beautiful venue again. And in the past, we've had 5 theatre venues simultaneously showing plays. And I think the maximum number of plays we've had over 9 days is about 56. And that's quite a lot. Also, we've had in the past, or even till today, we've had anything between 400 and 500 programs around Kala Ghoda, including the visual arts. So that's quite a big festival. It could be one of the largest festivals, I think, in the world, if you ask me. And that too, it's for free. You don't have to pay for any of this. That's the cinema section. Again, we've had a retrospective. This is just a little indication to show you a retrospective of Ramesh Sippy films, and we had them over, and we had their friends over, and it was really lovely. Similarly, we have workshops. We have 2 venues for workshops, and these are for adults, I mean, children can come for it, but children have their own workshop section. So this is also a very popular section because you can come and do a workshop for free. And it could be right from, a painting workshop, or it could be even a sort of animation workshop, or it could be a dance workshop, any of the sections, a music workshop, drum workshop, you name it, we have it. And this is also a beautiful venue, the Cross Maidan. And at some point, my idea was to have actual performances on the Maidan ground itself, because it's such a lovely Maidan where people can just stand around and watch. And a lot of these programs run back to back, and you can imagine how difficult it is. They run absolutely on the dot of time, and nothing goes beyond 10 o'clock. The authorities don't allow us to go beyond 10 o'clock. So we have to follow rules, and we follow every possible rule that we can. Now watch how this audience is so beautiful, and that's Malika and her son Revanta. And of course, we have a lot of folk dances. We have all kinds. We have even, uh, this is the actress Shobana, who's a wonderful dancer. I just put this here because I think it's a very beautiful visual again. The color is beautiful. And dance is visually the most beautiful in my opinion. A lot of people think that the visual arts are the most beautiful, but I think the dance is the most beautiful section. And I'm sure you'll agree, because there you go, we have the bhangra, and then we have western dance, and this is a good place to actually do a lot of Indian dances, because a lot of Bollywood is popular, a lot of contemporary dance has now become popular, but this is the chance to show classical dance. It's the same with classical music, because if you don't show this, I don't know how people will, how these two dance forms or music forms will ever be known to the younger audience, the crowds. I mean, crowd is really quite young, and they're very, very appreciative. They're very, very well behaved. So again, more visuals. So this is the visual arts, which is very popular on Rampart Row, and that's the thing which I told you about. The first one, the first slide is on the history of Kala Ghoda, and it says, but it's done by an artist, and it's, you know, it's just for fun. We didn't have the horse statue at that time, so we felt it was nice, and to kind of replicate some form of the horse, the Kala Ghoda. And then, of course, we had this mural painted on Rhythm House, which Asian Paint sponsored it, and we tried to get some of the buildings painted in the area. One of them was Artisans, which Pidilite kind of sponsored, which is coming up later. I'll show you that. And these are all the visual arts on the street. And here on bottom right are a lot of college people want to be part of it. A lot of art colleges. This is Pearl Academy. Is JJ School is there, and Sophia is there, and Rachna Sansad, and there's Balwant Sheth College of Architecture. They come regularly, and they all want to take part. It becomes not only like an assignment, but it's a good thing for young people to take part at our festival. These are some of course, the restoration projects that we've taken up recently. And I'll go backwards because these are the most recent ones in a sense that this one is the Bazar Gate Police Station, which was done by Vikas Dilavari. And this is also the Bamanji Wadia Clock Tower, again, uh, again done by Vikas. And this is the Piao near Ornament Circle Garden, which was done um, by UDRI. And we used to earlier take on a lot more things which were closer to the Kala Ghoda area. But gradually we're moving a little away because we've run out of projects to take part in and do the heritage. And some of these have even won, like this Bamanji Wadia has won the UNESCO Award, Merit Award. And the synagogue also won some award. And this particular thing is again visual arts, which I'll go back to the heritage part of it because I still have to explain artisans, the horse, all of those things. So I'll just come to that. So this is the mural that is which I was showing you in the background. And I just love this photograph. There's this one car, ambassador car, and this one artist who every year comes back with his name is Hetal, and Hetal Shukla, and he comes back with a new ambassador car every year. This, I don't think this one is his, but anyway, he does amazing work. This is the photo below. Why I'm showing you this photo is because in the old days we used to have a stage right there on Rampart Row. And when the silent zone rule came that we couldn't do it, it was a huge setback for us. So we thought, but actually it wasn't. It was it was a blessing in disguise because then we started exploring other venues like Cross Medan. But it was very popular and it was very noisy, and the people from the area didn't like it at all. This is a mural that I'm associated with because the Navy approached us many years ago, and I got some artists to do some work, but they were not happy. Then they said, we want an absolutely traditional maritime heritage mural. So I got together a whole lot of etchings and I made this myself. Actually, I did it myself and I got it painted on their wall. They are kind enough to keep restoring it, but now, of course, the work looks very different from what I had done. I got it done 2-3 times for them, but now it's extremely difficult because it's just paint on wall, and with our monsoons, these things don't last. But it's fun, and it's wonderful to have it because it's kind of brought sort of art to the district. This was one of the first things that brought art to the district. This is one. This is the Samir Kulugur actual mural, and it's fantastic. It's beautiful, and Artisans does very well to maintain it and keep it going. And Kala Ghoda actually got the permissions for it, and got we kind of partnered the whole thing along with Pidilite, and Artisans, of course, gave their space, and it was really a big success story because everybody even now relates to this beautifully. The one above that is a police jockey, which a lot of people will you will now notice when you pass by. It's opposite Bombay Gym, and the traffic police asked me to do this. We did about four around Bombay. This one is close to Kala Ghoda, that's why I got it here. And I collaborated with an NGO, a Society for the Education of the Crippled, and we got their children to come and do some painting on the doors, and it's just fun. It's a lot of China mosaic, and it was just a very fun project. So we did this, and then there is this other police cafe project, which is the headquarters of the police in opposite Regal. We restored this, my husband and myself. We restored the cafe, and I did that mural in the background again. And they were very grateful to us. Kala Ghoda did some part sponsoring, and we've even got our name on their plaque, so that was wonderful. But of course, it's not meant for everybody. It's only meant for the police. But they did invite us to do some heritage walks there, and I mean, I'm happy to kind of see that that happens also sometime. We could do that with Khaki next time. So this is just a little overview of our area, and the Rhythm House has again changed its color, and we heard that Nirav Modi was coming, but this happened instead. So whatever it is, we're grateful that Rhythm House has remained Rhythm House. And a lot of people told us, why don't you do something about it? And I don't know what we could have done because it was a private property. But at least, it's being maintained and kept well. And this lane, of course, now this is during COVID time, the photograph was taken, but um, it's just buzzing otherwise. And this afternoon I was there and it was quite buzzing, I have to say. Thank God. This is, of course, the overall view of, as you can see, there is David Sassoon Library across this aerial view, and there is West Side. And at some point, we have restored all of these things. David Sassoon, we've done some work for them. We've done some work for Elphinstone College, and so that's the part now I must tell you is the tail that wags the dog, or is the tail that wags the horse, I should say, because when Kala Ghoda Association was started, the whole idea was to beautify the area. And the festival was just something that happened just to create an awareness of the area. It was not to make money. It was not. It was just a few citizens who said, "Let's just make this a beautiful area," and especially draw notice to all the old British buildings that are there already there, which are already so beautiful. All they need is a little bit of sprucing up, cleaning up, and we need to people to start noticing how beautiful they are. So when the festival began and the festival started making some money, and the popularity of the festival, I mean, people wanted to come for Zakir Hussain. Yes, they were on that street to watch Zakir Hussain. In the old days, the concerts used to happen on Rampart Row. But it was also a way of people looking around and seeing, oh, this area looks so beautiful when there's a concert or when there's a music program or when there's a dance or when it's just it's such a lovely area. And that's how it became so popular, this area. And a lot of people don't know that whatever money we have, we spend on restoring, and we spend on keeping this area beautiful all the time. This is another of Vikas Dilawari's projects, which he did for Kala Ghoda Association. And it's a little ahead of Kala Ghoda towards, when you pass Fort and go towards VT. And and this fountain, which is which has also won a UNESCO award. And we maintain it. We see to it that it's guarded every night, and we see to it that a lot of urchins don't hang around as they used to before. And we are proud to be associated with this. And this, of course, is the spirit of Kala Ghoda. And someone asked, why did you name it Spirit of Kala Ghoda? Well, there are two reasons. The English language is a funny language. So when you say the spirit of Kala Ghoda, does it mean the ghost of the old statue? Yes, it does. Does it mean that it's a spirited area, spirited as in a happy and joyful place? Yes, it does mean that too. So it was a good name to call it the Spirit of Kala Ghoda. And I must say that my husband was sitting across or next to, at one of our Kala Ghoda programs, next to somebody from the MCGM, uh, extremely nice man, and he said to him that, your wife is an artist and you are an architect, so why don't we just get a good uh, horse statue, like a Kala Ghoda, real Kala Ghoda statue going at, in whichever way you want to get one. And we couldn't believe our ears because we've been trying for many, many years for it. We went to Heritage Committee and, it must be good 6, 7 years we were trying very hard, and this just fell into our lap. So we got a sculptor, and we got called Sri Hari, because we wanted to actually design it ourselves. At the same time, we wanted somebody who would be willing to listen to our ideas, and Sri Hari was extremely good. And we didn't want to also spend huge amount of money going to somebody really famous. There are many people who are experts at this, who make Shivaji statues, but it was costing a lot of money. And then Sri Hari agreed to do it, and I met Sri Hari at Kala Ghoda. He did some other sculpture, and I got Arzan to kind of oversee it. And Arzan was also, of course, I mean, who wouldn't be proud to be associated with a project like this? And of course, we made many visits. Arzan and I went several times to Sri Hari's studio, and we, at every step we made changes or whatever we wanted to do. And we installed it, and Alfaz did all the other work for it. And it was we had the chief minister come and inaugurate it. And of course, now people don't ask us anymore, why is this why is the Kala Ghoda festival called the Kala Ghoda festival? Why is this area called Kala Ghoda? They think this is it. The only thing the Heritage Committee told us is that do not place it in the same place as the old Kala Ghoda, because people might think that this is history. Well, I don't see anything wrong with that, because people do see this as history, and that one may or may not be forgotten. I hope it isn't, but if it is, it is. But we're happy, at least we've got our Kala Ghoda there. We've got a horse there. So this is the last one, and I just love this photo of mine, and it, it's sort of on that street, visual arts, and a lot of people tell me I look like a queen. So it's a funny photo in that sense, but yeah, I enjoy, I mean, I do look like I'm enjoying myself, right? And thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the talk, and I'm open to the questions now. Thank you.
I can't resist making a comment, Brinda, on this picture. My adjective for it would be statuesque. Okay, let's look at the questions that have come in. Asad Lalji says that you've converted the area into East Village. What is your comment on that? Is it did you consciously model the festival on any Western concept, or was it homegrown, local, organic?
Shall I stop sharing this?
Not really.
No? Okay.
All right. Or maybe you can put it back to the first slide, which is so lovely.
Okay.
Yes. So the question was, so the comment was, you made Kala Ghoda into East Village. So my question to you on that is, did you consciously model the festival on any Western theme, or was it totally homegrown, organic?
I had never seen any other festival, and I don't think, the first year, I think they were thinking of modeling it on some, maybe the Edinburgh Festival or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, and a lot of those people had traveled to see it. I had never been anywhere to see any of those. And
Uh-huh.
what happened is that I kind of stepped in, and then uh, we just let it grow the way it was growing. And I think, there could have been more ambition at that point, but I wasn't in charge. So, I mean, I just let it, whoever's in charge decides how the festival should go. But somewhere along the way, we had, another festival director come in, Srila Chatterjee, and I think she raised the bar quite a bit. And Srila did it for 2 years, and then she quit for some reason. And it kind of fell into my lap in that sense. And there was a challenge from, sorry, I'm slightly deviating because I'll get back to you about the homegrown thing. And at that point, it seemed that I have to do better. It was just one of those challenges that, because a lot of people felt that that I wouldn't be able to do it, including our sponsors. So when you're challenged like that, you want to do it, but you also have a team, I had a Geeta Castellino, for example, and she was very, very connected to local craftsmen. And so we had a lot of local crafts, and we had a lot of local dance, and we had a lot of, and anyway, India has so much of all that. You don't need to go anywhere to look for any of these, any performances, or we had so much. And the street was the main thing. There was nothing else. There was a street, and the indoor venues were very, very few. So we had to make the street colorful, and India is a colorful country. Anywhere for back home. And then many years later, I did go to the Edinburgh Festival, and I thought, I don't, and it's not bad. I think our festival is really, really good, because there you're paying for the ticket.
Yes.
And for that, we are giving so much to people, and we're giving them more programming, than they have.
Yes.
So
600 you mentioned. That's quite an astounding number. 600
500,
events.
550 is what we have reached maximum ever.
Wow.
It's quite a lot.
Okay.
I mean, and people can't imagine that we're doing so much in 9 days. So
A lot of themes have been added as the years progressed. So, I mean, you mentioned food came up later. So the question from Suki is, what are the new ideas for the coming years?
So
And
that's what we keep questioning. What are the new ideas? But if you ask me, I think I want to downsize it. I
okay.
don't think we need more sections. What we need, I mean, what else can we do? We have everything possible. I mean, there is also, unless we go away from art, then we have
Mhm.
more possibilities. But we don't encourage that, because it is an arts festival. And even if I say, okay, let's do design or luxury or something, but that somehow doesn't fit in. We're just force fitting things in, which I don't want to do. But definitely, I want to reduce. I mean, 550 is a hell of a lot of program. So I feel we should just downsize it and do less, and we should do kind of more quality. And quality is good. I'm not saying that the quality is not good, but quantity, I don't think is important anymore, because we've
Mhm.
reached that was our goal. It was our goal before. Quantity, number of people, there should be lots of people. Now we don't want so many, we want less people. It's like that. But we want people to come and appreciate what we are doing. So that's become more important.
And any plans to extend it to other areas of Mumbai?
We've been asked several times, but all of us work honorarily, and it's not easy. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, yeah.
And then you can't dilute something like this. And even if people pay me, I won't do it. I'll be honest, because it's, unless they pay me a huge amount of money. So I would not do it, because it's very hard. It takes about 3 months of our time, everybody's time, mine of course, but everyone's time, without doing anything else. And a lot of people kind of put their jobs aside, they put their homes aside, they come, they travel all the way from Powai or wherever, Andheri, and God knows where they come from. And they come every day just to do, for 1 month they're with us all the time doing planning. And the planning is really very, very tough.
Yes, I'm sure it must be a. I'm going to come to the planning aspect in a bit, but there's an offer for a suggestion from the founder of Khaki, who's also the curator of the Kala Ghoda Heritage Walks. He says, why can't we have some activity every weekend around the area?
There was a plan to have that. In fact, the Maharashtra government told us to have it. And
Yes.
again, it's a matter of energy. And it's again, I would have to do it, or one of us, one or two more of us would have to just be there every weekend to see it running, because a lot of people are volunteers. And again, um, it requires some kind of sponsorship. It requires, and we're not cut out to do these things. We're artists. We kind of just want to do the creative part. We don't want to do
Understand.
magajmari, and we don't want to do we don't want to start counting money, and we don't want to do all that, so much of it.
Right. And for the benefit of those who may not know, Khaki Tours is the Heritage Walk partner of Kala Ghoda Arts Festival, and we conduct walks. I think in the last season we did about 13 of them, all radiating outwards from Kala Ghoda. In the previous year, we had walks culminating at Kala Ghoda, and of course the bus ride. I think an obvious question. It was asked right at the beginning, but I sort of kept it towards the end. Where do you see the festival in 2021 with all these distancing norms, etc., etc.? Do
So
you
I
think
was
everything
expecting that
up?
question. I was expecting it. I don't think it's going to happen in February for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
as you said, like you said, why not keep the flag flying? And we do something online with partners like yourself, like Khaki and Avid, and the museum and various. We have so many partners, and we just
Mm-hmm.
get together and we just do it. And it doesn't require uh, too much sponsorship. It requires more of, I think, more inputs. And I think the digital medium is such that it doesn't require too many people also to organize something like this. So we will do that for sure. But having said that, there's nothing like a physical Kala Ghoda Arts Festival, because, I mean, it's so lovely to be able to actually go and take a selfie. Now I appreciate selfies so much, which I never did before. Actually, touch, we used to keep shouting at people not to touch this, not to touch that, not to do. But now I think it was so nice. It was so beautiful to be able to do all those things. So that's something I miss, and to be jostled in that crowd. Uh, I miss it, to tell you the truth. And I'm sure that most people will be very disappointed that it doesn't happen in February. But let's hope that we can have it a little later in the year. Perhaps we can change the
Mm-hmm.
dates. There's always ways to circumvent all the problems that we have. Also, we don't know if we're going to get permissions. So
Yes.
let's wait and see. Let's see how this Diwali goes. Let's see how people react to going out. And already I see that there is a change, and people are trying to do that. So let's hope.
So speaking of permissions, any highlights of working with the BMC in organizing in terms of highs, lows, good experiences, bad experiences?
There have been some very bad experiences. There have been some, I think it has become better, I must say. It has become better because I think with age, Kala Ghoda, nobody can say, no, you can't get permission. It's like that. In the beginning, we used to have to hear all that. And, people were complaining also about the noise and about all that. So I think all that we have passed that stage, because people realize that this is what Mumbai wants. This is what our people want. So, at least that's something. There's nothing else like it. There's nothing else like it. There's only the Kala Ghoda Arts Festival, and that's it. It's iconic. It's a event by itself, and it's the place to be. That one year people come from out of town. They come from Goa.
Yes.
People come from abroad also.
Mm.
So it's fantastic, and that kind of I think that's what we're going to miss in 2021. Let's see.
So where do you see the festival 5 years hence in 2025, for instance?
Um, I hope to see it smaller, as I said, and I mean, I'm not worried that people say, "Oh, it's a flop festival because there are fewer people." I don't think that should be the. anymore the yardstick of success for this festival. Definitely want to cut down on the venues, and I want to cut down on, but it will happen for sure. Uh, if there is no other pandemic that so much has been predicted and so much has been said. So I think only time will tell, and I can't predict too much actually. I would
Mm,
like, but
mm, mm,
in my mind, I'm extremely positive that we're going to have many more younger people come and help us, because they need to take over from people like me who are now, I mean, how many more years am I going to be helming this, or how many more years am I going to be enthusiastic also? I'm getting tired already. So uh, I'm going to take on some new young people to help me with this.
So if somebody were writing the history of the city in 2050, what do you think they'll be writing about the Kala Ghoda festival?
Uh, I think they
In
will.
other words, how would you like Kala Ghoda to be remembered?
I think I would like it to be remembered as a physical festival. I'm sure a lot of it is going to go digital eventually, because the world is becoming like that. And even now, I feel, right now, I would never have agreed to talk today, to this evening, but there's no other way. This is the only way you can talk to people. And
Hmm.
uh, and I know that it's all because of this pandemic, but honestly, I feel people are getting a little comfortable about it, and there are pros and cons, and but I also feel that it's easier in some ways to organize this. It's easier to organize this than to organize a jeep and get people to come and take them around. But
Hmm.
there's a big difference in what you like and what you don't like. And a lot of young people, I think, like digital a lot. I've seen that, and also a lot of meetings take place online, and I mean, like AGMs, and I'm not talking about creative things. I'm talking about AGMs and formal meetings in offices, and people are now getting happy to do things like that. So, I'm one who would like to sit in my car and meet the person, go to the
Yes.
person, meet in an office, and because maybe I'm old school. I don't know, but I think I don't know about, and then we are not going to be there in 2050 to know. We are not going to be there to know.
No, we're not going to be there.
Yeah.
At least some
But
of
I can
us.
see that my own daughters, for example, are very happy to be working from home. They're
Hmm.
extremely happy. So I think all those things, but a lot of other things like going to an art gallery or going to a museum, and so that those are things. The virtual museum is no fun. To see a
No
virtual
fun.
gallery, no fun at all.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Do attend as many of our future talks as you can. As you would have seen in the introduction, we've got a great lineup of topics as well as speakers. So good night and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.